I think it's a little difficult to understand where everything is in the meadow. I've drawn a, or not drawn a diagram, but I've drawn where the fences are and where phases are. So I'm going to show you the short version of the meadow, how I get to the horses. They've got paths all over through the wildflowers and stuff, but this is where I'll start, at the water. I moved their feeder from the back to up here because they were eating it very quickly and they won't touch it when it's up here. So I did have to put hay bags out, which they're eating right now. And we've got, there's lots of thistles, there are a lot of nettles, there's a lot of burdock, and so this is, when you see green, it's not grass. It's all that, I believe, is goldenrod, and there's a big patch of thistles over there. And there is some grass, which they've been eating, which is nice. And there's bee balm, and there's asters, and there's one other type of purple flower that I can't remember the name of. But anyway, this is, let me just get back up to where I should be. This is the path that I talk about. From all the driving with fencing, there's tracks. I've made tracks, so that's what they've been following. There's some burn piles, which were huge. That's dock, a pile of dock and burdock, so that it can be burned eventually, or at least contained over there. And it gets pretty high here. It's pretty deep. But they do have paths through here. There's one of the types of purple flowers. Oh, that's a goldenrod. Another burn pile. That is an old pear tree, and I did have the water trough under here for a while, but it was so much easier to move it close to the fence over there. But I might move it here for the winter so that it gets, because I know they had a lot of south sunshine, because I plan on making a solar heater for it. And that's the trail that the horses made to go to the little marsh where it's really, really wet in the winter and the spring. And I'll just scoot over there actually. Not a lot of grass. They've got to look for it, which is what I love. And they've made this trail themselves. This was not here. And that's the area where the grass here is really lush in the spring. And they've discovered it. And so all this is wet. The water runs from over there, from the neighbor's property. And so all this fills up, or gets soggy anyway, and then it runs down into the little ravine. So we'll go back up. Okay, so when I talk about them coming through the gully, this is where they have to go. And there's old apple trees. I hope they don't discover the apples. The deer can have them. So going down into the gully, And this is where it connects with that little lush area that I was just talking about. This is where the little creek runs all winter, supposedly. But it's quite a drop off here. So I've put up this little guardrail so the horses don't step in the wrong place. And there's a little bit of water in there, but it's stagnant and gross. But this should run all winter, which is great. And now we're going back up the other side. There's more apple trees in here, which is where I found Jack's mask this morning. So I think they take cover in here when it rains, which is nice because it is really nice and covered. And there's higher trees around that if they're going to get hit by lightning, the bigger trees will get hit, not them. Under the smaller trees, I hope. And now we're up on the other side. And there's my sitting tree. And there's my ponies. Happily munching on the hay bags. Because this is where they hang out all day. So I thought if I put the hay feeder by the water feeder, it would make them get more exercise and go back for hay all the time. Or they come up here to graze and rest, and then they got to go back for water and hay. But I do want them to get some fiber, so that's why I filled the bags. Oh, there's the bee balm, almost done. Almost done for the year. It tastes really peppery, it's good. The flowers. Jack keeps losing his mask. It's a little bit loose, so I'm gonna have to get him a new one. This is Fanny's old mask. Is that better without the flies on your face, Jack? Yeah, you eat those flowers. That's a good boy. And Miss Firefly. Oh, remember to get salt, but I do want to put sea salt, loose salt out somewhere. Maybe once I get a little shelter made. Firefly's kept her mask on really well. That's great. And that's where they lounge in that corner because they can see their buddies way over there. And that's fine. They're getting better at it. Hi, buddy. Okay, so we're back there. And Firefly has bent some of the posts a little, leaning because she tries to get the grass on the other side. So I hope to have that side. Fenced off for the winter, or by the winter, so they can have this entire area. And that goes into the bush. My sitting tree with my sitting branch that I got a ride on because Jack pushed underneath it when I was sitting on it, and he raised it up with his neck, so I got a little ride out of that. And I will, one of these days, take the long way around the entire thing so that you can see where the horses go.